How far are you willing to go to keep your family safe? If drugs are involved, are you willing to have no private life? In order to keep everyone safe, are you okay with cutting close friends out of your life if they can't keep a secret? These are the questions that are involved in watching the show Snowfall. I liked watching this show because each week there is something happening that's different and thrilling, and you learn about the crack epidemic that happened in Los Angeles in the 80s. Today in this presentation, I will go over the description of Snowfall and my personal evaluation of the show. Snowfall is based on real stories in the 1980s about the crack epidemic, and there is 5 seasons. The main characters are Franklin Saint, who is played by Damsis Idris, Teddy McDonald, who is played by Carter Hudson, Leon Simmons, who is played by Isaiah John, Jerome Saint, who is played by Amin Joseph, and Aunt Louie, who is played by Angela Lewis. Franklin in the first season figures out what crack is and how to cook it. Franklin later realizes that he can't be a drug dealer forever and finds legal ways to get the money laundered. Franklin meets Teddy McDonald, who is a part of the CIA but is involved in the epidemic from a CIA standpoint and wants to make money with Franklin. Along the way, they find out some family members need to be cut off due to being liabilities. They start to understand the game, and a lot of people start to get hooked on crack, even loved ones. They start to take over certain parts of LA with this drug, and different territories start to be made, and dealers start to be assigned to their own territory. The characters soon start to realize to keep the dealer happy and their family safe, sacrifices need to be made. Franklin has family members who have issues with drug dealers who buy and sell for Franklin, and so this will lead to conflict of interest, which causes a split from in-house. Jerome, who is Franklin's uncle, and Jerome's wife, who is Franklin's aunt, decide to start working with Franklin, but they want to run their own territory. They want it at the same price Franklin gets his crack for, but they want it to be undercut for the market. Some loved ones die along the way, but they must charge it to the game. With understanding what Snowfall was about, I was able to get hooked on this show and tune in each week. So my evaluation of Snowfall, the story was very intense and thrilling to watch. I didn't know much about the epidemic that went on, and this was based on real stories, and the timeline was really shown great. They really hit all of the events, which was nice. There is love lost and loyalty when it comes to this show, and in the 80s, the epidemic was huge. Everyone was starting to find out what crack cocaine was all about. The acting in this show is extremely realistic, and you can feel every emotion through the screen. After each episode, it gets you thinking about what next week will be about and how things will play. And by that, I mean play out, see the different drama going on, all the good things about the show. I have done an overview of what the show Snowfall is about and why I'm interested in the show. I learned a lot about the crack epidemic in the 1980s, and I was able to watch a thrilling show that kept my interest. It is important to learn about our history, especially since drugs are a big part of the world in today's events. Especially in watching a show that is very thrilling and you feel all the emotions like heartache and happiness, it will really get you hooked every time you watch.